You're listening to the Russel Brand podcast, and as if to prove that fact...
Russel Brand podcast.
Yep, that was a jingle provided by a listener, by Matt Morgan. Are you all right, Matt?
I thought you were going to say that I did that jingle.
Your jingles seldom reach that standard. Do you know who sent us that?
Not at the moment, but it was a person with a name. We'll
Send
find
us
out.
your jingles to Russell and Matt at audioboom.com. With us too is Mr. G, poet of the show, studiously scribbling away. Although, how can he summarise what's happened so far with the poem? I think he probably just assumes there's going to be some juvenile claptrap happening.
And he turns up with a big load of poems. It's how that one will do.
What if this is a bit like the end of Usual Suspects, and really we're just like G's imagining us, and everything we end up saying has in fact been somehow preempted and prescribed and preordained, Matthew, by G.
They did that with that, what's his name? Darren Brown did that thing with advertising people.
That's right.
And he did they had to come up with a campaign.
For a pet cemetery. And
was it?
It was for a pet cemetery, yeah. Bury your pets or taxidermy your pets. But and the advertising executives thought they'd come up with something tremendously original, but in fact everything that they suggested, like it was a teddy bear with wings in front of a cloud at some pearly gates.
Right, he suggested those
and
images.
the slogan, best friend forever or whatever. Every image and every word had been suggested by Darren Brown, who lives around the corner from here. And I'm always trying to go, come Darren, give us a cut of your secrets, mate. Come, Darren.
Well,
Darren.
you've seen him in real life.
I see him all the time. Give us a cut
Really?
of secrets, Darren. Darren, how'd you do it? Like, if you want to get inside someone's noggin, come on, pal, give us a few secrets. He never yields.
No. Well, hang on. So does he just walk around the streets?
He floats, Matthew. He hovers, he drifts. He descends from on high.
Have you ever seen one of his shows?
I've been to one of his shows. I've been around his house. I've done everything I can to be close to Darren, and nothing's good enough. Yeah, Darren Brown, Roald Dahl, changing normal name a bit. Seem mysterious.
Oh, is his name Darren Brown?
Well, no, it's Darren Brown, isn't it? But
Well, why are you accusing him of changing his name a bit?
I don't know, jealous. Jealous of the mind bending.
Roald Dahl was Ronald Dahl.
No, always rolled.
That's
No one's done anything.
Baseless.
Yeah, it's completely baseless. It's completely baseless. I'll level with you, Matt. It's baseless. Andrew Simmons, magic, pure genius. Russell and Matt, South Jersey, USA loves you. Your radio show was the best thing I ever listened to. When you're back, keep up the nonsense. Pin, of course, being a reference to our radio show when you were stabbed with a pin, Matt. But
As a child.
We're trying to bring our podcast very much up to date, very much up to the minute, because we're a podcast now instead of a radio show. We're in a basement now instead of a studio. This is it. This is it.
It's real. No, we shouldn't keep going on about the old things.
The old days.
We should make some new things.
Let's make new things.
Although I can't have a new childhood with different stories. We've probably plundered our past.
Yeah, I mean, we've kicked the absolute crap out of our past, haven't we? We've ransacked the past. But I've still got a story or two up my sleeve.
Have you?
Oh, yes, things have happened. Another email here. Congrats on the podcast, says Ollie. Then he goes into quite a lot of details, hoping to start something like this because as much as I like the Trues, my online news channel, it would be nice to have something a bit longer, smiley face. So anyway, here's my question. Will you be adding this podcast to iTunes? The big advantage to iTunes is anyone who subscribes to iTunes will have the latest episode downloaded and automatically transferred onto their iPhone iPod. The trouble is, Ollie, that I think Audio Boom is a competitor of iTunes in that it's a platform that needs to provide its own content, and the nature of our deal means that only a 10-minute trail goes onto iTunes. You can listen to that, but I think all you have to do to
That's
listen
all
to this...
you need, really, to get an idea of the standard. Really, just a 10 minutes.
10 minutes, you get the idea. A couple of men...
Kick your computer in.
Toss that damn thing out of your life.
Should we mention our sponsor? Our beloved sponsor.
You love doing this, don't you?
I've lost a fucking bit of paper.
I lost my bit of paper. I can't talk to me
here it
sponsors.
is.
You can't wait to count out.
This episode, Russell, is
Yes.
brought to you by Squarespace.
I
just wanted to say that.
Well, I don't know what they do. I don't know why they're in our
You
show.
do, because me and you have been designing websites all week on Squarespace, and it's become so easy to design your own website.
You designed
on
it, did you?
Squarespace. Yeah, you've got 5. Check them out. Check out for yourself. Sign up at squarespace.com with offer code BRAND.
That's an offer code, is it?
I guess.
Well, there you go.
That's off my chest.
There I was in Los Angeles, Matthew. I'm glad you've said that. I'm glad you're helping to fund this so we don't have to command the people listening to give us some money.
No, that's what it's all about, isn't it? We want to give this to the man on the street for free.
Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Now, when I was in Los Angeles, where I lived as a person, there was a thing that happened that could form an anecdote. Would you like to hear it?
I'd love to hear that.
It's got
actually.
Steve Jones out the Sex Pistols in it.
Oh, I'm in. I like him. He's nice, isn't he?
He's a brilliant, lovely, cuddly fella. Did you ever meet him? Did you ever visit
Yeah,
him
no,
in
I
Los
did.
Angeles?
Yeah, when I came over when you were doing that FX show.
Oh, crikey, that was a bloody drama, wasn't it? Making Brand X FX. In the end, I tried to make a TV show without ever going there.
Well, when I went over there,
Yeah.
I don't think we've spoken about
Was
this
it like a sort of-
publicly.
Was there a sense of crisis in the air?
No, it was worse than that.
Worse than crisis.
Worse than crisis.
Beyond crisis.
There was people weeping in corridors when I turned up. And
yeah.
I knew it was a crisis when I'd been asked to cross the pond.
We're
I thought,
going
this
to
can't be in good shape. If I'm the
get
wolf.
Matthew to come here.
And so I arrived there, and there was about 200 people, including Demi Moore, doing yoga there because you'd got bored of doing a TV show and set up a yoga studio. That was the point where I had turned up.
I loved running my yoga studio in the canteen of that TV programme, although a lot of the Teamsters, that's the union for people that are grips and do like the actual work in television, I think they felt it was weird.
I think everyone felt it was weird, even the people doing yoga.
Why did people think it was weird? Was it the gonging? Was it me
Oh, that was
getting
when
it
you were
on,
obsessed
banging
with
a gong?
Oh, yeah, that was when you were obsessed with a gong. And actually, this is something someone reported to me,
Yeah,
that you had a gong on the set of the TV show.
that's right.
And some, like, what they called Teamsters, someone,
Yeah.
some menial
Touched the
guy.
gong.
So tapped the gong, and you told him, in
Oh,
all
no.
seriousness,
No.
"Oi, don't judge that, it's part of my religion."
I'll say anything, won't I? What am I going to say
brilliant.
next?
I think that's brilliant. You stuck up for your religion,
Wait,
which is... What?
it's the old Russ religion. Why not get on board? Revolution's one thing, religion...
That chair's part of it too. And walk out the door.
Hey, clear up.
Take
Hey,
your shoes off. The
My religion.
is fine.
don't interrupt me when I'm troubling this makeup lady. It's part of my religion.
What was going through? What was happening in your life around that time? There was that was mad.
Was it
wasn't
mental illness, loosely speaking?
I did say your life, so that's,
Bracketed, parenthesised, if it's part of my life, mental illness is going to be playing a role.
well, you had a lady.
Oi.
What?
Get up my gong, it's part of my religion.
Can you had a guru with you? We had to do. We were right. So we had the show coming
a
up that
guru.
day, and we were like, right, we better prepare for the show. Yes, we better prepare for the show. Hang on, I'll call my guru. And then preparing for the show, which had no questions for the interviews, nothing done at all.
Don't need questions, pal. As long as you've got the right spiritual connection, the questions will come.
This was the preparation for the show.
Yep, go on.
Do you remember it?
No.
It consisted, and I had to do it as well, of
Go
going in a fucking circle. All of us.
I didn't make people sit in a circle, did I? Actual normal people.
Well, the
with
chairs
jobs.
were already aligned in a circle.
And I made people do that.
How do you not remember this? It was only last year.
Sometimes I'm not really focused on what's going on.
Oh,
I'm
you were
just
very
thinking my
focused.
thoughts.
You were like the best of them.
It sounds a bit like We Will Rock You. We will ruin your television career.
It was a strange time, though.
I really liked it. I mean, I liked having all those people dressed in white, doing yoga, me banging a gong, getting it on.
What was the yoga connection to there was no connection.
No explicit
I thought you
connection.
should have put that on the show or something. I thought that was
I should
building
have.
up. I was like, when are they going to use this yoga thing?
Yeah, when's that going to get used? It's a bit of a pity. Well, what happened was, Matt, I mean, as you know, I've always had a desire to change the consciousness of mankind. So,
But they all seem like quite hot women.
yes, I thought I'd like to change the consciousness of hot womenkind as
they were-
well.
And there was we talked about it. We have talked about this, I think,
Have
on
we?
the radio. And when we did that XFM thing, I think it was after that. Yeah, because there was a man with a pearl in his penis.
Pearly Knob.
Do you remember him?
Old Pearl Knob.
Oh, Pearl Knob.
He was alright, old Pearl Knob.
Yeah. What happened to
What's
him?
his actual name? Yeah, like we became friends with him in Australia. He was alright.
What, and you brought him to LA?
Well, he had a pearl in his knob, Matt. No distance is too great when a man's got a pearl in beneath the surface of his skin, a pearl in the knob. Yeah. Well, I suppose I mean, we have a laugh, you and I, but I do believe that different forms of yoga and meditation can change the consciousness of the individual and therefore change the consciousness of a planet. But the problem is, I suppose, when you sort of expedite that process with cultish behaviour, and you could change the letter L if you wanted to, around the production of a TV show, filling up the...
No, you weren't being nice. You weren't
being mean. I was being nice.
It was nice. It was you were very calm.
Was
but
I?
you've gone too far the other way.
Right. I've always done that, haven't I?
So, yeah. You
Gone
would
too
turn
far.
up really late after yoga, all sweaty, and then we'd have a meeting and go, oh, it's tonight. Oh, God. And then you'd go, well, I've got to have a shower, guys. And then you'd go and have a shower for about 4 hours with your yoga ladies. Well, and Demi Moore was around.
Demi Moore was there, wasn't she? She was all part of it.
Funny life you lead.
It's been really ridiculous from start to finish, the whole lot. I've been looking back at it lately, and it's been a total catastrophe. The problem is, Matthew, is my personality, isn't it? It'll cause problems wherever you put it.
Yeah, but then it's also your greatest asset.
Yeah, the old
Let's
nature.
put it that way. I mean, let's be diplomatic about it.
During this LA time, the time of Brand X, when you were whooshed over, because Steve Jones, he's all right, isn't he? He's a good bloke.
That's where we started, yeah.
Yeah,
He's a very nice bloke, sort of kept himself completely as he sort of like still lives in North London and still a bit of a lad, isn't he? Really?
How's it going?
He's brilliant.
Still normal. He's a very down-to-earth man. Well, we was around my house one time, and my cat Morrissey, as you know, is vicious. Like, I mean, well,
Is he?
only to the animal community, not to
right.
me. Although he bit me quite aggressively this morning when I woke up. First thing, I stroked him, and I thought, is he going to do that thing where he clinches onto my arm and sinks his fangs into me?
What?
And he did do it. And then, like, I try and be Christ-like during it. I try to just soak up the pain. But I was thinking, what about tetanus?
What is
While
that?
he was-
Why is he doing that? I don't know anything about cat psychology, but doesn't that...
They just do what they want. That's basically it. A cat is going to do what
Why
it
would it
wants
bite you, though?
for a laugh.
Oh, God.
Yeah, just like it just felt like it. So there it
Yeah.
is. As you've got to deal with it. But we were
Is
in
that
it.
why he's in the microwave now?
That's right, because you cross me and you will be
You
brought
do
low.
30 minutes in the microwave.
Come out when you're ready to apologise or to be
Hang on, we
fluid.
talked about microwaving cats before.
You're obsessed
Don't know
with
why.
it. Because it's an image that's probably at a time in your life when you were easily influenced came to prominence with a tale of Yob's microwave cat, and it was like around a lot.
It
And
just went into my brain at a
and they've
deep
been
level.
in there ever since, like the crow in the wall. Just the things all these things that are the building blocks of your nature.
The crow in the wall, yeah.
Crow, so all these little things, they
You have to explain that. You can't just say that because
there was a crow in the wall.
brilliant. When I was a child, there was a crow in my wall, and I thought there was a monster living in the wall. And my mum thought I was being silly. And then one day, the little grill thing went.
Like a
and
vent.
my mum saw the dying crow in the wall.
Gasping. So Matt was going, "There's a crow in the wall. There's a monster." No, you said you thought it was a monster.
It was a monster, yeah.
I mean, in a way, it is.
Well, it might as well have been. It was going. But anyway,
It's not very nice.
we mustn't look back to the past.
We've got to stridently move forward to a bit more recent past. This
Yes.
bit here, where Steve Jones was around my house. Nice bloke. We're getting on fine. We're having a nice day. Having a nice
Is this
Sunday.
The 50 Cent house.
Fiddy was in the house before me. Yeah, Fiddy was the previous resident.
That's
You wouldn't want to
mental.
shine a black light around that house, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Jackson Pollock Towers. So, like, I was there with Steve, and Morrissey the cat, as is often the case, brings home an animal. What he brought home on this instant, though, was a mole. And a mole is
A
not...
mole in LA?
Yeah,
I think of a mole in a village green in England.
that's right. It's from Wind in the Willows. You don't want to see a mole in LA. What's he doing? Hey, I'm getting my big break!
Hang on, have we just come up with a movie? A mole with sunglasses on.
But he's blind. That's why he's wearing sunglasses.
Well, yeah.
Like a blind man.
No, let's not dwell on his disability. He's
Yeah.
in LA.
He's a mole. He's in LA. He's going to make it as a
But
chef.
maybe
Mole and Tui.
he doesn't know he's a mole because he's blind.
Right,
He
what does he think he is? He thinks he's a hotshot actor. And he immediately starts his own TV show, stroke yoga business, gonging away like there's no tomorrow and no recommissioning.
Oh,
The old Moley, anyway,
yeah.
the Morrissey brought him in. Now, a mole is very much, I liken a mole to a vagina in that if you take it out of its context, it's odd. A vagina in context, delightful.
How do you take a vagina out of its context?
Imagine it slithering across the room on its own. Now it's less appealing, isn't it? A vagina there between the legs of a lady. Yes, please don't
Slithering
mind if I
across the
do.
room on its own.
Imagine a detached
What are the
vagina.
sides of it made of? Like as if it's been cut off, or like it's a tube?
It's just independent. Oh, the lady's independent, slithering across the carpet. Yeah, just imagine it slithering across the carpet. I'm just saying that a vagina out of context would be frightening.
Yes.
In context, delightful, delectable, delicious.
Well, that's true of everything. Like a mouth hopping across the carpet.
Fair enough, use it then. Have fun with it, Matt. The formula works. If the formula works, use the formula. Have fun with it, baby. Be creative. Go crazy. And a mole, because a mole has a context, a subterranean context. It was something like it being seeing it in above the soil. It didn't seem right. Morrissey brought him in.
Soil.
Soil, olive oil.
Sort of angry about the idea of soil then.
Soil.
Above the soil. What's that stuff?
It's dirt, isn't it? But all ganged up. I mean, dirt on its own's one thing, but when the whole bloody ground's made of it, you can't get away from the soil.
I don't think it was a mole.
It was a mole, Matt. It had great big jazz hands. It was like Al Jolson. Mammy, how I love you, my dear old Molly. He had like big moley hands like that. It's the equivalent as if my hands were the size of woks. Imagine my hands were the size of woks.
I am imagining it. I'm still trying to get over the crawling vagina image, but this is just a roller coaster ride for your psyche.
If I had a wok-sized hand and I didn't have arms, the hands are directly onto my torso.
Yeah.
What you got there's a mole, son. You got a mole in Hollywood chasing a dream.
Right, come on.
Well,
And a Sex Pistol watched all this.
Me and a Sex Pistol, Jonesy, was watching. Morrissey brought the mole in and we thought we can't have this, so we scarpered after Morrissey. He pegged it out. My whole house.
Hang on, let's just go back. We've become the Beano comment. Scarpered, we pegged it out. Me and Jonesy couldn't have this. Then what happened? A sausage on a fork came through a window. A pie was cooling on a windowsill.
A dog ran by with a string of sausages, hotly pursued by a cross butcher.
I rode my bike through a washing line and had a lady's bloomers on my face. Right.
I bit into an apple, bloody great worm come out of it.
With little glasses on. Yeah. And reads books.
Excuse me, I'm a bookworm.
Right, get on with the story.
My house, my 50-cent mansions, was surrounded...
Did he rent that or did he buy it off him?
Look, what do you want to know my private arrangements with Fiddy?
I just need to know.
Fiddy and I keep our arrangements pretty confidential.
The swimming pool at that place was funny, wasn't it? It was like a triangle in the shade. And it
What's
leaked.
wrong with a triangle in the shade? Did it leak?
Yeah, it was leaking down
I
the
used
hill.
to jump off the roof straight into the pool with teenage boys in my pants. And if that troubles you, call the police, sir.
How did you fit a teenage boy in your pants?
Just give him enough lollipops.
God.
I knew these kids. They were mixed teenagers.
Mixed? What the hell does that mean?
It's a
mixed
brothel I
up.
use. They were mixed.
Can I order the mixed teenagers, please? Yes. No, they were very good last time. Is that boy all right now? Has he got better?
Russell and Matt podcast. You bet your ass.
There you are. You're on the roof of your LA mansion that you bought from 50 Cent.
Rented.
From 50 Cent? What, he was your landlord?
Yeah, it was like Rising Damp, but with 50 Cent turning up.
Get rich or die trying. Cut the rent, baby. So you jumped off a roof
I don't want you
with teenage
partying
boys.
like it's your birthday. I want you responsibly paying your rent on time like you're a grown man. You got it, Fiddy. I'll be no more trouble.
Did you call him 50?
Fiddy, I'm afraid the plumbing's playing up something chronic.
The swimming pool's leaking again, Fiddy.
Fiddy?
Some of my teenage boys have dried off.
I don't like a dry teen boy, Fiddy.
I like it when they're all shiny. You know what I'm saying.
Fiddy, this one's like a new pin. Now that's the example I'm going for, Fiddy. As soon as it's dry, it's out of here. Fiddy,
Why did 50 Cent have a yoga like relaxation tent in the middle of his house? Or was that, that's obviously
when Fiddy was under Fiddy's reign, that had a portrait of a motorbike made out of paint on it. I suppose that's
painting.
That's it. And a TV set, but I draped that behind a bit of Indian fabric and put a bunch of cushions down. There you go, yoga.
Right.
Why not?
Right, okay, so hang on. So what? First of all, let's just get like. Let's imagine we're in court, right?
It might be helpful.
Teenage boys. You used to jump off the roof with teenage boys in your pants. What, you put your pants on them? They were in your
I'm
pants.
in my pants.
Well,
They're in their trunks. 'Cause
okay.
I don't bother putting on trunks.
Not at your own house.
What's the point? Or anywhere, even at the seaside.
Don't you?
Nah. Go in your pants.
Okay, so you're jumping off in your pants. Who were the teenage boys?
Mick's nephew and son, Yoddy and Tone.
Oh, mixed boys.
Mick, yeah, Mick.
I thought you said mixed, like M-I-X.
These boys was mixed. They were neither one thing nor the other. One's got a vagina on its eye, the other one's got 2 winky woos in his armpits. They was the kind of boys I'm liking the best.
Right, so this
Mix.
now makes a complete different story.
Yeah, what is it? A
I
friend's
was jumped
kids.
off with teenage boys
I'm
in
having a
my
laugh.
pants. You
I'm
know,
having a
I
laugh.
take things too literally.
You
sometimes.
are a bit of a literalist.
Do you remember that Aha song, The Sun Always Shines on TV, and I thought it meant the sun shining on the
Pull the
TV.
curtains.
So, yeah,
The sun
so
always
when,
shines on TV.
I never
Touch
thought-
me.
yeah.
It's,
so when you say something like that, it takes me a little while to pick
Matthew,
it apart.
I can't everything I say think. Remember, you're talking to an idiot. Can I run that as a filtration
Well, it's a good
program?
system to start from.
Right, you're talking to an idiot. Filter all the information. Where's the metaphor?
Where's the mole?
The mole has been taken back outside by Morrissey. He's seen me. Oh, look, it's the Parky. He's scarpered. He's gone outside. Morrissey with the mole. But
I thought, isn't the mole a gift to you?
there's no way that that's true, because if it was a gift for me, Morrissey would surely recline and watch me enjoy the mole. When I go near the mole, Morrissey's all over
The
it.
mole dead?
No, he's very much alive.
Oh, right.
Me and Jonesy chase Morrissey outside. Morrissey drops the mole. My LA, or Fiddy's LA mansion's got a shingles moat round it. A gravelly moat, if you can envisage such a thing.
I'm trying to, and I've been there, but I didn't see that.
Just gravel. This
A
is just gravel.
How wide's the moat?
2 yards of gravel. 2 yards of gravel, but it's only a couple of inches deep. That's the problem. So the mole, as soon as the mole's dropped, it tunnels down beneath into the gravel, and Morrissey's watching. He's peeved. You can see that. And you can also see the hump of the mole, like in a cartoon. You can see the journey and trajectory of the mole as it
Under
travels.
the stones?
Under the stones, yeah. You can see the stones moving, mimicking the mole's movements.
Right.
I'm like, how are we going to get him, Jonesy? What are we going to do? We've put the cat now inside. He's watching like Hannibal Lecter through the glass, simpering and like ready to go at a moment's notice. Steve Jones comes up with what I consider to be an ingenious solution, Matthew. He goes, why don't we make a moat around... It's the second moat in the story. Why don't we make a circular moat around the mole, and then ever decrease that circle, like the sitcom, ever decrease that circle until eventually all that's left is the mole. Because otherwise it was hard to get the mole. I was thrashing around with a dustpan.
But what would that, like, sort of...
Well, you're reducing it. Like, look, imagine you, Matthew. You've burrowed into the soil, but we can see where you are from the dislodged soil.
Yeah, no, I understand the mole's point of view. I'm understanding Steve Jones' point of view. So you and what I'm saying is what is his moat constructed of? You two with your arms out? An old lady with a broom?
Remember this, Matt. The mole can't get... There's concrete bedding under the shingle, so the mole can only get down about 4 or 5 inches. So that's why we can see the thing. So
Right.
Jonesy goes, make a moat around the mole. Like, just do a circle around it, a big circle, and then make the circle...
Well, dig out stones in a moat.
Dig out
Right,
stones.
okay,
What's that?
okay.
You need to dig out
Well,
stones.
yeah,
All
kind
right,
of.
dig out stones.
Just needed.
Dig out a circle of stones, like you've made a shingle polo. That's
Right.
what you need to imagine.
And then keep reducing that.
Keep reducing it.
I would
till-
have gone to where the mole was, put my hand in, grabbed it, and thrown it over the fence.
That is the first thing I tried to do, but the mole makes a noise that is not of this earth. A mole is a vampire of the soil.
Really?
It goes like like that. It
Well,
makes
and
a-
that stopped you.
It's not a nice noise, Matthew. You wouldn't like it.
No, I don't like even you doing it, but I'd go... It's like...
It's like it's going to go like this. Butterfingers! It's like he's going to say something sarcastic.
Yeah, but...
To you. Don't mind if
You will hear this noise every night for the rest of your life. I will haunt you.
Try getting a stiffy now. It's like a really horrible...
Riddle me this.
I've got you here, won't you?
I've got wax for hands.
And the hunter's become the hunted.
I preferred it when Finny lived here.
Finn, do none of this.
Finny would have just stamped on me an hour ago.
Fiddy is known for his love of moles and his tolerance of the creatures of land, earth and sea.
So what happened with this little...
Jonesy...
Probably not even a mole.
It wasn't a mole, I've seen it. A velvety purse with wok hands. A velvety purse with wok hands. What don't you understand? There's a velvety purse with wok hands. There's a Sex Pistol making a shingle polo in my 50-cent moat. What don't you understand? What don't you understand?
I don't understand what I'm doing here now. Okay.
Then I was impressed by Jones's stratagem.
Yeah.
It's a good stratagem, isn't it?
Yes.
Reduce it till you've got the mould. Because whenever we tried to get the mould directly, and I had a gardening glove on, Matt, and I think it was actually an oven glove. I had an oven glove and a ladle and a dustpan. That was, I thought, all the kit I'm going to need. Ladle, dustpan, oven glove. This mole's moments. And I remember...
I mean, this is very much the Hollywood dream, isn't it?
I'm coming at this from a humanitarian perspective, remember? I'm not trying to hurt the mole. I'm helping the mole.
Oh, I bet that's been added on at the end. I bet you were chasing it round like the mum in Tom and Jerry.
Well, she's a benevolent figure.
She's not. She hits him with a broom.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't be in there trying to get near the pies or whatever.
I knew it.
So we're like, but then Jonesy comes up with a stratagem, and I'm thinking, but this is better than the oven glove stuff. And while I was doing that, induces that, and
Yeah.
Butterfingers,
Building a moat, are they?
we soon find a way out. So we came up with a stratagem. We're closing in on the mole now, Jonesy and I. The
This is a
end
good
is
bonding
nigh.
experience between you and Jonesy.
We've never felt closer.
Really?
This must have been like the height of the Sex
Take
Pistols.
your tops off. You're both a bit sweaty.
Yeah, high-fiving away,
I bet.
armpit farts. The works, baby. The bloody works. We're jamming. But we're not jamming with guitars. We're jamming with gravel. It's a gravel jam. And then we get... But then when it gets to the final moment...
Oh, it dies.
No, Jonesy, who's come up with this great stratagem worthy of Alexander the Great, of closing in on him, a sort of a pincer movement against the mole... Like, when it comes to the crunch, he sort of, gets the dust pat, he sort of screamed and went, "Ah!" and flipped the bloody mole like it was a pancake. Sort of into a head. "Ah!" Like that. He sort of flapped. He'd lost his cool
A
right
man
there
who
in
was
the
in a
hour.
band with Sid Vicious and Johnny Rotten got scared of a
Panicked
mole.
by a mole.
Crikey.
Flipped it like a pancake into a hedge. That's pretty much the story
And he
ends
just-
there. Then 50 Cent arrived, complaining like says, "You need to keep the noise down." Called me N-word a couple of times. I couldn't respond.
That is a bonkers story, mate.
That's the way I live, Matthew. That's the way I live. I'm just a man on the edge. I'm a couple of Joes. I'm an average Joe with you. You're listening to Russell and Matt on Audio Boom. If you want to email us, why don't you then? Because then you would have some content in our show, russellbrand@audioboom.com, or you can leave us an audio message like that lady did with the jingle. We ain't got very much of them. I don't know what's the infrastructural problem that presents us having more emails, because I would like more emails, Matthew.
They'll come. Just calm
Tweets? What about tweets?
down. Oh, God.
What about Facebook posts?
Oh, about Instagrams. I haven't got any Pinterests.
Here, I'll have a Pinterest by the end of the day, or else it'll be all over your MySpace page like a rash.
Why were you talking about a mole? What did that come from, that mole story? What
do
did
you
we
wanna
start?
know that for?
No, because I'm trying to add some sort of line to this
we were trying
nonsense.
to create a story along the lines of Ratatouille, where a mole goes to Hollywood with a dream, and this mole is sidetracked by a cat called Morrissey.
What's going on with Morrissey now? He's back here.
He's bit me. He's lived in
Bit
10
you, that's how it
houses.
started.
He's lived in 10 houses now.
That's amazing.
Mansions, country piles with aristocrats, pop star homes, and he ain't learned an effing thing, and not once has he said thank you. So what am I supposed... I'm thinking of writing a book from his POV, that means point of view.
Why? He's just
I'm never
completely
getting around to it.
disinterested.
Doesn't care.
Cats aren't very nice, are they?
I love them, but you're right. They're bastards. They're absolute bastards. They're...
But crows?
What do you want to talk about crows for?
Well, because there's an 8-year-old girl, right, who since the age of 4, Gabby Mann of Seattle, she's forged a relationship with the neighbourhood crows.
Forged.
Well,
Sounds like she's put too much effort into it. Laboured.
sounds like it sounds like
Forged.
she's done it with ulterior motives.
And a hammer.
Ah,
Bang! I will make a
Forged.
relationship. A relationship to bond all man and crows, like Lord of the Rings. It's too
it's a bit
grandiose.
It's a bit grandiose for a 4-year-old in Seattle.
Yeah.
She started giving crows food, right? And then suddenly something unexpected happened. The crows started to present various trinkets to Gabby in return. And there's a picture here of loads, and we'll link to it on something. Loads of stuff that the crows have given her as presents.
I'm looking, Matt, and it looks like a shit version of the Generation game. There's trinkets, there's biscuits, there's buttons, there's paper clips, there's a sort of a silvery polo. There's nuts and bolts. There's old clock parts, a sentence I've not said for a while. There's a sort of a jewel thing that you might find around a nan's house.
These are crows. You're being a bit judgmental of their presents.
I'm jealous.
You're what? Of the presents?
I'm jealous of the girl's relationship with the crows.
Ah, now we reach the very nub of the matter.
Why can't I be friends with the
Because you don't
crows?
feed them. She's been feeding them for years. But listen, this is what's
All I've
interesting.
got to do is feed the crows and then...
She's started feeding crows. They've started giving
Mm-hmm.
her presents. Then other crows, other generations of crows have received that knowledge because crows remember human faces. And now this person who's grown up and is older, crows will come to her from miles around and give her presents.
She's she's the Crow Christ.
Well, yeah.
I want to
And
be
I know
the
you were
Crow
going for that
Christ.
title.
She's the Christ of crows.
Yeah. So
crows come to pay homage. They do crow pilgrimages.
they bring gifts. They must be flying around. Oh, look at
We
that.
come bearing gifts, myrrh, frankincense, and old bolts.
Yeah.
It's not fair, is
I mean,
it?
they're crap presents, but, you know, they're crows. I'm going to judge
Even
them on it.
crows give crap Christmas presents. Bits of old tut, tat, crap, codswallop,
Why are you
everywhere you
jealous?
look. Because I would when I was a child, a little girl growing up in Tokyo, my dearest wish was to be followed everywhere I go by crows. That's all I wanted. I used to look up at the Tokyo night and think, why am I not being followed by a murder of crows everywhere I go with them landing on? Imagine that. Like crows following
It would be
you.
good to command animals.
I want to command them.
You've got one cat and it bit you this
He's
morning.
commanding me. I've got
Yeah.
no power over him. The mole, made a mockery of my tenancy agreement with Fiddy. I want at least a flock of crows, a murder of crows, to follow me
Well,
around.
you need to stop feeding animals and being more at one with animals.
Do you think that I'm less at one with animals than you, Matt?
I go
Because
and
I've seen
feed
the way
animals
you
quite a
carry
lot.
on with them, the way you flinch and wince in the presence of the simplest
I'll tell you
domestic
what,
pet.
My son found a worm in the garden, and when I was a kid, I'd pick up a worm really easily.
Yeah.
When you pick up a
The
worm,
feeling of a writhing worm
It's
is
not
memory
nice.
of childhood memory.
yeah, but it's really unpleasant.
Yeah,
it
no.
sort of stiffens and flexes.
Yeah, I hate it.
It's gross.
So
And-
have you done it? You had to do it, did you?
Had
To get
to
one
do
off
it.
him? Was he bringing them in the house? Did he put them in his gob?
No,
What was he doing?
we just picks them up and then they sort of torture him a bit. He
Yeah.
puts them down his slide, which they don't
Dirty
seem to
devil.
enjoy. No, but you end up having to pick up things that when you've got kids, you end up doing things like colouring in restaurants and picking up worms and stuff. You
I
know.
do colouring in restaurants anyway. If there's crayons,
Do you?
why not? What else are you going to do?
What to like
Don't normally get on with the person I'm there with. I'm just waiting for the time to pass.
with your tongue stuck out? You got to stay in the lines. When did you last colouring in a restaurant?
Like probably a couple of weeks back. I
Oh,
was there with my goddaughter, Wagamamas.
that's a funny name for her.
Police
but-
got involved. Oh dear, that's a very traditional but edgy joke we were trying there. I had to do some colouring. Actually, I was in a restaurant somewhere and I was an answer to a question. There were puns about people's names. It was sort of like Russell Sprouts or something. It was all food jokes and the child wasn't as impressed as I'd hoped they'd
Because
be.
your name is two things you can do to cattle, of course.
Russell and Brand, a cow. Huh. Why have you never said this before?
I don't know.
Why have you held that back?
I don't know.
Over the years,
I think
there's it been there in the back of your mind, burrowing, nagging, tick-tock, like a clock in an Edgar Allan Poe story. Russell Brand.
Talking of animals, right, and feeding them, and cows, right?
Well, how thorough do you need this segue to be?
Well, it's
Why don't you
brilliant,
do
isn't
some of
it?
your promo for Square Peg?
Oh, yes.
Come on, get stuck in, Matt Morgs.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Sign up at squarespace.com with offer code BRAND. I think you get 10% off or some sort
I've
of
listened
discount
to
off.
your commercial several times and I still have no idea what Square Peg does.
That's because you don't understand the internet and the
I
future.
understand it, all right. That's where those ladies live when I cuddle when the real ladies won't come.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
No, I was going to say.
Yeah.
The moment's passed now. I'm too upset.
Go on. There's a link between cows and
Yeah,
animals.
a brilliant link. And then you, of all people, asked me to do the advert, which always makes me get flustered.
I threw you off. I threw you off track. I threw you off the scene.
There's a, I don't know what you'd call it, not a petting zoo because they're farm animals, but it's like you go there
Where?
with kids. What do you mean? There's a farm. You go there. Where? The place I'm telling you about. You pay whatever you pay to get in. I'm not going into the prices. And then you get a little bucket full of food and you go around and you give it to sheep, pigs, little horses, like miniature
Tiny.
horses, loads of animals. And for kids, really good. But the animals, you're very aware of like animals in children's books and stuff like that, right? My son sees a pig in a book. It's like a cartoon pink thing.
Yep.
Real pigs are hairy, sort of black and pink, twisted, brutal, disgusting, smelly things. And none of the animals do the noises that you teach them animals do. Don't do that. They go...
That's what you said
That's
the
what
crow
all
in
of
your
them.
wall done.
All animals do that noise.
Every
That
animal.
mole-
That mole,
the
no,
only
that
thing
mole
that-
was...
Yeah.
Presumptuous.
The piglets out of raccoons.
Yeah.
But no, the only... As we were leaving, a sheep went bah, almost insultingly
cliche.
late. And it was like, see?
Bah.
We weren't lying. Bah.
Well, so you're saying that the whole construction of our imagery of animals is inaccurate.
Yeah.
And so inaccurate, it's a miracle a child can associate an illustrated pig with an actual
We're
pig.
completely disconnected from nature. I had a chat the other day. I was in this place. There was
I ain't-
windows, listen, right? And the sun was making the room too hot. And I said, it'll be horrible in summer in here, right?
Yeah.
And then no one knew if the sun is on the same path across the sky in summer and winter. We were like, maybe the sun's over there. We're so disconnected. We don't know.
Listeners, accidentally there, Matt has come across a good point. He's never done this before. This is a real breakthrough. We have become disconnected from nature. We are like living cutlets. We are men and women. Ted Hughes, did he not write that the female sexuality was like a sow, a carnivorous, riotous vagina? He described something a bit
We've
like that.
Started off brilliantly and already started talking about vaginas again
Yeah.
and made him
I went
sound
off
like
track, no.
parts of a pig.
That's what he said. Hughesy.
Ted Hughes
Hughesy.
with his knob in a pig's nose.
He would not do that, would he? Although he did live near the zoo. He did, suspiciously near, because he was haunted, wasn't he, by
Right,
the
start
howling
again. The
wolves.
original bluster.
All
That
right,
was
let's
good.
get back to the bluster.
We've got waylaid.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got waylaid. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Morgan there has come up with something. This isn't a retake. We want to include
Yeah.
both. I just want you to know that I can do
don't
this
edit
better.
out the first one, but can we
'Cause that was great.
reword the bit where I stumbled across this? In fact, I was groping for this for about a decade.
Matt
in my
Morgan
studies.
is one of the finest minds in British academia. After literally hours of work, he's coughed up a theory saying that mankind is divorced from his nature and nature itself. We've lost our totemic relationship with the beasts of the field, with the plants that we need to survive, with the planets suspended in the heavens that are like us, the inevitable, vital, potent nature. What is it that makes our heart beat? What is it that makes our kidneys do wee-wees and that for us? What is it that keeps our blood pumping through our veins? What is this invisible force
I'll
that
tell
holds
you.
together... Shut up, this is the best bit. This is the bit where it gets
I was
really
going to
like a
say
Nazi.
Squarespace.
Don't attribute that to your chums at square pegging
Sorry,
around.
I thought we were doing an advert.
No!
I'm completely divorced from nature.
See? This is what I'm saying.
Go on, carry
We've
on.
lost our relationship with nature. What is this invisible force that heals a cut? What is it that keeps the heavens spinning in their spheres? What is it that makes a mole live in a hole? What is it that makes 50 Cent charge me at least 10% over market rate and not provide pots and pans? It is an invisible magnetic force from which consciousness itself comes, from which all phenomena comes. Consciousness is not just one more phenomena. It is the seat of all phenomena. We, the people of the world, have got to come together and form a sort of Nazi party that don't have racist bits in it, and it'll be nice.
So, what is your point?
There is no point
Send
to
us
me,
emails
Matthew.
if you've become disconnected from nature.
If you're disconnected from nature, you can email Russell and Matt at audioboom.com, or you can record a little message about how you have become
Hang
divorced
on.
from nature. Make it interesting.
We should reconnect with nature.
How?
Plant food.
We are going to be planting food, ladies and gentlemen. What type?
Carrots.
Carrots all over roof gardens, carrots, leeks, herbs.
Do you know what? No
what
one
about a
knows.
wall garden?
No one knows how to plant stuff. No one knows how to repair stuff. No one knows anything anymore. Do you know what?
What?
Driverless cars. We're not even going to be able to drive soon. They're going to
They
take
have-
all the knowledge away from us. Do a truce on that.
Here's some bloody truths. I'm pissed off. Matthew, I'll tell you something about a couple.
Get on your mic.
I'll tell you, me old pal, me old beaut, about a couple leaving all their money to a monkey. A husband and wife in India are leaving all their money to their pet monkey. Brajesh and Shabista Shrivasta say they owe their wealth and success to the primate who they believe enriched their lives. Now, that's not so ridiculous because in Hinduism, there's the monkey god, Hanuman, and throughout paganism, there is man worshipping nature. A relationship which you say has been severed to our detriment. So even when a little mole turns up, me and a Sex Pistol flounder like a couple of mimsy little fannies. Like a couple of squinting tit biscuits instead of getting down and elbowing it to death like a Viking or Fiddy, the landlord, would have done.
Yeah. No, I know. But anyway, this isn't proof that Well, this is proof we've become
It's proof we've
disconnected from nature.
gone
to give
crackers,
money
pal.
to a monkey is trying to apply modern thinking to the natural world, isn't it?
That's like me giving my cat its own radio show.
Ooh, I think Squarespace might be interested in that.
I don't think so. Are you a cat? Would you like a website? We can have one. I mean, they
Right,
dominate
come
the
on then.
internet. I mean, really.
Cats, I know. Do you know what that is actually? I'll tell you what it is.
Go on.
When you own cats,
Yep.
they have something, I think it's called toxoplasma. It gets into your brain, drives you mad, and makes you love cats more and more. And it's a parasite that
Right.
keeps cats alive. Trust me.
I will do a truth on that. Cats are conning us into loving them with toxoplasma. Get your cat right now and kick it straight
know
in the balls.
They do something
you've
to
not cut them off,
rats,
which I
right?
have.
That something toxoplasma gets into rats' brains and makes them crave the company of cats. That's
Cats
a lie,
are
actually. It makes
Did you
them.
just make that up?
Well, it makes
It
them
was brilliant.
like cats or something. I'm
Toxoplasma
not a
and
doctor.
cats, you're clearly not. Toxoplasma and cats have been conning us for too long, but I tell you what this isn't going to do. It's not going to help us to understand the mystery of this Indian couple what have give their money to a monkey. The couple have got no children, probably because they're obsessed with a monkey, have set up a trust fund for the long-tailed macaque, who they adopted after it was orphaned and consider it to be like a son. But what type of son?
I think that's sad about pets. They're all orphans, really, aren't they? They don't know their mum and dad.
Oh, that's awful. I don't like to think of Morrissey being an orphan, taken from Broadwater Farm by that South American girl. Can't remember exactly which country, but by God, she was gorgeous. She was like the earth come to life. How I loved her. But, of course, the relationship couldn't last.
What, someone gave you Morrissey as a present?
Christmas Eve.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Christmas Eve. That was we're not want me one present either. She just goes, here, have him.
It sounds like you know someone called Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. Yeah, and then that's it. And then she didn't even give me no cat food.
Well, no, you're going to buy that. Do you think she's gives you the whole thing? It's a cat box, a cat food,
Well, I would like...
cat bed.
Look, it's Christmas Eve. The cat shop weren't open Christmas Day. How am I meant to get his dinner? Can't remember what I
That's
gave him in
true.
the end. Chopped up bit of steak. On Christmas Day.
So,
No pillow for his head. Like he's a
Oh.
cat Jesus. Jesus is
Jesus.
all over this show, isn't he?
You're
This
obsessed with Jesus.
I can't stop
He got
thinking
right
about
into
him.
all our brains.
I love the Lord.
Growing up in the West.
I love the Lord, but not like in that toxicoting cat way, tricking a rat into loving it before it ruins
When
its
I was
life.
a little kid, we had to go to church, obviously.
Mm.
Well, not obviously. But, and you weren't allowed to eat for an hour before. And I used to think Jesus, because you eat the Holy Communion, right? And that's Jesus. You're told that's Jesus going into your body.
Nice.
And if he goes down and you've had a Pop-Tart accidentally, I used to be
Jesus.
scared that he'd go down there, see a Pop-Tart and go, what? And like throwing the moneylenders out of the temple. Kick off.
Get this Pop-Tart out of your
I was
ass!
sitting in church thinking, oh no, I had that Pop-Tart. Oh God, it's
Why do you
happening.
eat Pop-Tarts? How did you heat them up on
I
your
used
own
to
as
love
a boy?
Pop-Tarts. Put them in the toaster. Weren't you allowed a toaster as
I'd
a
like you
child?
to think how many jokes I'm resisting doing when you say Pop-Tart. The couple, Chunman, the monkey, is 10 years old, but his breed, so he's alive now, he's a little rich monkey. His breed have been known to live up to 40. People say we're mad. They're not even dead yet and they've given him the money. People say we're mad. They might even ridicule us, says Mrs. Shrivalva.
Why would they give him the money he was dead? You mean they're dead?
They're
not dead.
They've left him the money, but they ain't even died yet.
Oh,
They're giving
right.
him it now. Just to see what he does with it. They've impoverished themselves for the glee of a disinterested primate. We know how valuable his Chunman is to us. We are childless and Chunman is a son to me. We want to ensure, even when we are not alive, Chunman continues to live the way he does. Well, he will, because Chunman don't give a fuck about
He's a
anything.
monkey, yeah.
Although
What do you think
doesn't-
he's going to change?
Right, well, there, God, I'll go back to my former identity as a jaded accountant. The couple, although that he could do that. The couple own their own home and have a number of businesses run by Mr. Shrivastava, which are all named after the monkey. The animal, too, lives in his own air-conditioned room and has a mate called Bitty, a simian monkey, who the couple took in to keep the boy company. Why is that monkey getting nothing?
Why are they calling it their boy company? Oh, they've got a boy. No, they've got no children. Why are
Hold
they
on
calling him a
second.
boy?
He,
Look, they got a simian monkey who the couple took in to keep their boy company.
because they love him. This other monkey.
yeah, but the news story shouldn't be calling him a boy. That's their thing.
Look, mate, the news story had to pick an angle, and they've gone with the narrative as provided by the couple themselves. What I'm interested in is why this second monkey is just seen as a sex slave for the primary monkey. Like, yeah, the view. Oh, we love monkeys. Well, actually, just that monkey. That one. Get in a corner, monkey number 2, and do what you're told. You better lick it up. I don't want to lick up the mushed up bananas. Lick it up, Bitty, son.
According to the pair, the monkey enjoys Chinese food and tea and mango juice.
According to them.
If I lived in India, I'd eat Indian food.
So would I.
It's got to be much better quality than the Chinese food.
Disgusting, disgusting. Well, Matthew, I think what we've learned is man has become divorced.
We've learned anything
from nature, and that you are a bit of a weird. You're not to be trusted. That's one of the things I've picked up over the course of the podcast. Yeah. But now to summarise this show, if a show is what it was, is our friend and poet, Mr. Jiminy Greaves.
Okay, his poem's called Beyond Crisis. Supposing we were born into the future, living backwards towards the past. I guess this poem's already being unwritten, and I'm looking forward to the podcast start. We better be careful what we ask for what we seek the crows may send. We're forever drifting with mold vision. We get rich then die trying to pay the rent. Our circle's decreasing, our connection to nature's ever depleting. Perhaps the sound of the gong will provide the song for our final bid for freedom. Yet we colour in what we're needing, whether it's the glowing sun or a goat's bleating. Perhaps we should look back into our own futures to find the inner Pop-Tart that we're all seeking.
There it is, Mr. G, all on the mic made up there. You'll have seen many of the show's themes all wrapped up in poetry. Mr. G will be writing an anthology of poetry available. And if you want to win that poem, you've got to provide us 1, a good jingle, 2, some interesting content. 3, if you want, you can. No, do we want nude pictures?
No, we don't. That was
don't
a joke.
do that. That was Matt doing a joke because I won't be able to handle it. So, yeah, send us the content to win Mr. G's poem signed by all of us. Signed by all of us here and maybe 1 or 2 secret people you won't be expecting. Did you enjoy the podcast, Matthew?
I enjoyed that. It felt like we went on a very strange journey.
Yep, and that's what I would call it. That's what I would call it. Thanks for listening. Look awkward, mate.
I shouldn't have said that thing about nude pictures, so leave this bit in of me saying I shouldn't have said that.
Well done. All right, that's good. Now we look really professional.
Brought to you by Audio Boom.